أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's begin. نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Today we are doing chapter 5, punishment under Islamic law for practicing black magic. Chapter 5a, part 1. Chapter 5, part 1, we are doing part A. The punishment under Islamic law for practicing black magic. The punishment under Islamic law for a non-religious person, Zimmi, who practices black magic. Is the treatment of black magic with black magic lawful? The punishment under Islamic law for learning black magic, difference between black magic, miracle and charisma. Punishment under Islamic law for practicing black magic. First we'll discuss this one. According to Imam Malik, a person who practices black magic but does not have it done for himself is similar to the person Allah described in the following. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you're not practicing, but you believe in that. And they learned what hurt them and did not profit them, knowing well that whose by it shall have no share in the world to come. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 102. وَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا لَمَنِ اشْتَرَاهُ مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ وَلَبِئْسَ مَا شَرَوْا بِهِ أَنفُسَهُمْ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. If they only know. So this verse, Imam Malik believed that the punishment for practicing black magic is the death sentence. Let me repeat again. Imam Malik believed that the punishment for practicing black magic is the death sentence. According to Ibn Qudama, the punishment for practicing black magic is the death sentence. This view was reported by Umar, Usman ibn Affan, Ibn Umar Hafsa, Jundub ibn Abdullah, Jundub ibn Ka'b, Qais ibn Sa'd, and Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. It is also the view of Abu Hanifa and Malik. According to Qurtubi, scholars of jurisprudence disagreed to the punishment of a Muslim who practices black magic and a Zimmi who is non-Muslim, Zimmi who practices black magic. So according to Malik, the punishment for a Muslim person who uses black magic himself that contains word of disbelief is death sentence. He shouldn't be asked to repent, as his repentance would not be accepted. This is because his black magic is something which he kept secret, just like a disbeliever or an adulterer. This is also because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defines black magic as disbelief. So here, disagreement to the punishment of a Muslim who practices black magic and a Zimmi, non-Muslim who practices black magic. So according to Malik here, the punishment for a Muslim person who uses black magic himself that contains word of disbelief is a death sentence. Punishment for a Muslim person who uses black magic himself that contains word of disbelief is a death sentence. And he shouldn't be asked to repent, as his repentance would not be accepted. This is because his black magic is something which he kept secret, just like a disbeliever or an adulterer. This is also because Allah said, they taught not any man without, they said, we are but a temptation, do not disbelieve. Again, the reference of Surah Al-Baqarah 102. So view of Ahmad bin Hanbal, Abu Thawr, Ishaq and Ash-Shafi and Abu Hanifa. According to Ibn al-Mundhir, the punishment for a person who admits to the use of black magic containing words of disbelief is the death penalty. If he does not repent, and also if the evidence against him shows that he has used words of disbelief. If he says that black magic he has used did not contain words of disbelief, then he should not be sentenced to death. But he has to be truth, right? If the black magic he used harmed a person so seriously as to deserve the death penalty under Qasas law, then he must be sentenced to death. If he uses his sihr with the intent to harm. However, if the black magic used does not merit the death penalty, then the penalty should be blood money. Ibn Kathir argued that according to the verse وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا لَمِنْ اشْتَرَاهُ, yet had they believed and been Allah-fearing, a recompense from Allah had been better if they had, but no. So sorcerer does not commit such as act of disbelief when he used black magic, a view which was held by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and a group of predecessors. The punishment for committing such act is death penalty. But according to previous report, Shafi and Ahmad and so on, they heard Bajala ibn Abda say, Umar bin al-Khattab instructed in writing to kill every male and female sorcerer. So we killed 3. Who said this? Umar ibn Khattab instructed in writing to kill every male and female who practices black magic, and that time they punished 3 people. According to Ibn Kathir, this hadith is transmitted by Bukhari in Sahih. Ibn Kathir stated that death penalty has another antecedent in the story of Hafsa, al-Mu'mineen. One of her female servants performed black magic to her. So she ordered that the servant be killed, and the killing was carried out. Okay, this is the thing they mentioned. And according to Imam Ahmad, 3 companions of Prophet ﷺ confirmed that the punishment of sorcery is death penalty. Al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar reported that according to Imam Malik, the punishment for practicing black magic is similar to that applicable to us zindiq, a person who does not believe in the hereafter or who openly declare his faith but conceal his kufr. His repentance should not be accepted. He must be killed if it is confirmed that he is really a sorcerer. And this is also view of Imam Ahmad. According to Ash-Shafi, a sorcerer should be killed unless the black magic he has used had actually killed a person, in which case his killing must be counted as qisas. You understand? Because of his black magic, somebody is killed, and he has to be given the death sentence depending on qisas. Similarly, according to the aforementioned view, it appears that majority of scholars are of opinion that a sorcerer should be killed, with the exception of a Shafi who said the sorcerer should not be killed unless his black magic killed a person, in which case his killing should be counted as qisas. Only a Shafi. So overall, what we have seen, we got the reference of Umar Khattab, how the death sentence was actually done, and also we have seen the servant of al-Mu'mineen, the female servant, perform black magic, and she was killed. She was ordered for the death sentence, and most of them, they asked for the death sentence, except the exception is Ash-Shafi. He had the different opinion. He said unless his black magic killed a person, in which case his killing should be counted as qisas. The punishment under Islamic law for a non-religious person, zimmi, practicing black magic, what about them? Ibn Qudama reported that according to Abu Hanifa, a zimmi who practiced black magic should be killed on the basis of a commonly held view, and that since the death penalty is applicable to a Muslim sorcerer, then it should also be applicable to a zimmi sorcerer. Al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar reported, according to Imam Malik, a zimmi sorcerer should not be killed unless his sihr has killed someone. Here there is a difference of opinion with Imam Malik. Malik also said if a Zimmi sorcerer caused harm to a Muslim person but was supposed to have entered into a covenant with Muslim not to harm any of them, he is thus considered to be in breach the covenant and should as a result receive the death penalty. Why he has to kill? Because he breached the covenant. Prophet ﷺ did not have Labid ibn al-Qasim killed because the black magic he used against him was not an act of revenge. Furthermore, the Prophet ﷺ worried that if he had killed him, he would have ignited a conflict between Muslims and his allies from the Ansar supporter. Listen this carefully again. Prophet ﷺ, the person who did black magic on Prophet ﷺ, his name is Labid ibn al-Asim, killed because of that black magic, but Prophet ﷺ did not have ordered to kill him. And furthermore, Prophet ﷺ worried that if he had killed him, he would have ignited a conflict between Muslim and the Ansar. But according to a Shafi, a Zimmi sorcerer should not be killed unless his black magic has killed someone. Ibn Qudama said a Zimmi sorcerer should not be killed unless his black magic is lethal. Mostly it is black magic that kills, in which case the death penalty should be applied as a qisas. When it was confirmed the Labid ibn al-Asam had used black magic against Prophet ﷺ, the latter did not order his killing because his practice of polytheism has more serious than the sorcery. So here we learn different opinions from the different scholars, and everybody has their view, and mostly they ask for killing. And here we stop and we continue the next part in the next session. So, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillah Rahmanir Rahim. Let's begin. So, we were doing about the chapter on how the people's punishment under the Islamic law for practicing black magic, chapter 5, and we are doing chapter 5, part B or part 2. So, here we'll continue. A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillah Rahmanir Rahim. Ibn Qudama added, the views quoted were based on the analogy drawn between a Muslim sorcerer and a Zimmi sorcerer. The difference is that a Muslim sorcerer is classed as disbeliever when he uses black magic. A Zimmi sorcerer is already a disbeliever. You understand? When Muslim is practicing black magic, he becomes a disbeliever, whereas the disbeliever is already disbeliever, whether he practice or not. So therefore, the analogy on which scholars base their judgment is invalid on the basis of difference between a person being disbeliever by creed and that of a Muslim uttering words of disbelief. It is also invalid on the basis of adultery, a crime for which a Muslim is sentenced to death, which a Zimmi is not. Is the treatment of black magic with black magic lawful? That is the thing we're going to discuss. Ibn Qudama stated, if black magic is treated with the recitation of some verses of Qur'an or some invocation, there is nothing wrong with it. You are affected and now you want to cure. So you are reciting Qur'an. That's okay with it. As for the treatment of black magic with the black magic, Imam Ahmad never dealt with and went beyond this issue. Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar reported, according to the Prophet ﷺ hadith, An-Nushra is a work of shaitan. An-Nushra is a reference to the purpose for which it is sought. For instance, it is intended for something good, then it is good. But is it intended for something bad, then it is bad. However, An-Nushra may be two types. According to Hafiz ibn Hajar, the corrective view, lawful nushra, treating black magic with Quran, permissible invocation. Okay, Quran ayahs and so on and so forth. So many people, they did with the Quran ayahs, reciting. Sometimes, they recite Surah Fatiha n number of times, and the person is cured, and genie left the body of the bewitched person. And sometimes genie, they proclaim the Shahada, they say Shahada, and they believe in it. So here, that is the lawful thing. But unlawful Nushra, treating black magic which entails seeking the assistance of demons and befriending or seeking refuge in them or pleasing them. Perhaps this is the type intended in Hadith, and Nushra is a work of Shaitan. More to the point, how can this type of Nushra be lawful? While Prophet ﷺ warned in more than one Hadith that going to the sorcerer and soothsaying and believing in what they say is disbelieving in what has been sent to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But according to Ibn al-Qayyim, an-Nushra is curing a person of black magic, and it's two types. What are they? Treating black magic with black magic, which is a work of Shaitan. This is supported by Al-Hasan al-Basri view that though it both an-Nashir, the one who used Nushra, and Al-Muntashir, the one who has it done for him, befriend the demons by answering to his need. In return, the demon invalidates the black magic. There is a how they do, the one is doing, the other has been done. They talk to each other and they nullify that black magic. That's how the things are. Treating black magic with ruqya, language of seeking refuge in Allah from evil and invocation, is permitted. Only thing that is permitted is through ruqya with Quran and Sunnah. Is learning black magic lawful? Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar reported the verse إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةٌ فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ, we are a test and trial for you. Wala takfur, so do not disbelieve. So we are not supposed to, right? We jinn are but a temptation. Do not disbelieve indicates that learning black magic is an act of disbelief. Wala takfur. Ibn Khudama reported the learning or teaching black magic is unlawful act and uncontroversial issue among scholars as far as we know. The Hanbalis hold that a person becomes an unbeliever if he learns to practice black magic, whether he believes in black magic as lawful or unlawful. According to Ar-Razi, researchers on the subject of black magic agree that knowledge of black magic is neither shameful nor unlawful, on the basis that seeking knowledge is an honorable pursuit in itself, and also on the basis of general meaning of the verse. This is Ar-Razi's view in Surah Az-Zumar, ayah number 9, Surah number 39. Are those with knowledge and those without knowledge equal? He is quoting this ayah. Furthermore, black magic were not accessible to learn it. It would not be possible to distinguish it from a miraculous work, and knowledge of whether or not something is miracle is obligatory. Therefore, acquiring knowledge of black magic is obligatory, and what is obligatory cannot be unlawful or shameful. That is his view. According to Al-Hafidh ibn Kathir, there are, however, arguments concerning a Razi view. First, if Razi meant that learning black magic is not shameful, logical, then opponent of black magic among the Mutazilites deny such a view. They deny it. However, if he meant that learning black magic is not shameful legally under Islamic law, then learning how to practice black magic has been condemned in the following verse. Again, the verse of the Quran, وَاتَّبُعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينَ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. And they follow what the shaitan recited over Suleiman's kingdom. Suleiman disbelieved not, but the shaitan disbelieved, teaching the people sorcery. Here clearly says, teaching the people sorcery is a disbelief. So don't take his opinion and start practicing it. No way, because Quran condemns black magic and person will be punished for it. And in general, let's start today's lesson. Inshallah, today we're gonna do juz number 20. Alhamdulillah. So let's begin our session. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We are doing South al-Quran English, Juz 20. We are doing short summary. We'll start from Surah al-Naml. We're gonna complete Surah al-Naml and we'll do Surah al-Ankabut up to ayah number 44. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أما خلق السماوات والأرض وأنزل لكم من السماء ماء فأنبتنا به حدائق ذات البهيج ما كان لكم أن تنبتوا شجرها إله مع الله بل هم قوم يعدلون. It is He not best who created heavens and earth, the sent down for you rain from the sky, causing to grow thereby the gardens of joyful beauty, which you could not otherwise have grown the trees thereof. So here Allah is asking, is there any deity with Allah? No. But they are the people who ascribe equal to Him, means they do shirk. And He is not the best who made the earth a stable ground and placed with its river and made for its firmly set mountains and placed between the two seas a barrier. And this is barrier here, this barrier is a miracle. Is there a deity with Allah? No, most of them do not know. He who is not best who responds the desperate one, whom no one hears, when he calls upon Him and removes evil and makes your inheritors of the earth. Is there a deity other than Allah? Little do you remember. Allah is keep on asking, is there any deity? No, there is no deity. He is not best who guides you through the darknesses of the land and sea, who sends the winds as good tidings before His mercy. Is there any deity with Allah? No. High is all above whatever they associate with Him. And here in ayah number 62, who is that response to the desperate one? Here, Muttarra is the one who is so desperate that he called upon anything possible and has not heard a response. Basically, Muttarra is the one who is in desperate situation, whom no one has heard, no one has responded to. So then this person who is that he called upon, eventually, ultimately, he calls upon to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh God, I know you are there, please help me. So here, إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. So here they are calling, and who is there to remove troubles from you, and He gives you time to live on the earth. Ilahu ma'allah, is there any God with Allah? No, there isn't. Qalilam ma tazakkarun. Little is that they pay heed. So there is no one to help, no one to hear, and they are completely exhausted and they are asking only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when a person supplicates to Allah in which there is no sin or severing of the ties, then Allah certainly give him one of the three things. Either his dua is accepted, or the reward is stored for the akhirah, or the hardship is removed from him. So we have to have complete, belief on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here, keep on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, is there any other deity? Is there any other ilah? No, there isn't. قُلِ اللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ غَيْبَ إِلَى اللَّهِ. None is the heavens and earth knows the unseen except Allah, and they do not perceive when they will be resurrected. And here, مَا يَشْعَرُونَ أَيْنَ يُبْعَثُونَ means they don't understand, they don't have sha'ur, but they will be resurrected. بَلْ أَدْرَاكَ إِلْمُهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. Rather, their knowledge is arrested concerning the hereafter. Their knowledge is arrested concerning the hereafter means rather they are in doubt about it. بَلْ هُوَ فِي شَكٍّ مِّنْهَا. Regarding this matter, بَلْ هُمْ مِنْهَا أُمُونَ means rather they are concerning it. It's from umyum, they are blind. Because they are not saying the correct thing, so because of that they are blind. And here in ayah number 73, and indeed your Lord is full of bounty for the people, most of them do not show gratitude. So gratitude is so important. And here in ayah number 80, Inna la tusmiul mauta. Indeed, you will not make the dead hear, nor will you make the deaf hear the call when they have turned their backs retreating. Here, who is dead? Whose person heart is dead? Okay, it's not actually they are dead, but their heart is dead. And also deaf here, they have ear to hear, but they are not using for the hidayah. So Allah turned them that way, because if you are not using your faculties, then that's how it's going to be. And you cannot guide the blind away from their error, and you will only make here those who believe in our verses. So they are Muslim, they submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here in ayah number 83, and warn of the day when we will gather from every nation. From every nation Allah will gather a company of those who deny our signs. They will be driven in rows. So they will be driven in rows, And hatta iza ja'u, until when they arrive at the place of judgment, he will say, did you deny my signs? While encompass them in not in knowledge. And here later we see in ayah number 87, Yawma yunfaku fis-sur, and the warn of the day of the horn will be blown. Whoever is in the heaven and whoever is on the will be terrified, except from what Allah wills. And here in ayah number 88 we see وَتَرَى الْجِبَالُ تَحْسَبُوهَا جَامِدَةً, and you see the mountains thinking them rigid while they pass as passing the clouds. That day the things will be different. When Allah is mounted like mountains with like a anchor, but that time they will be moving like the clouds. And Allah can do anything, there is nothing hard for him. Man ja'a bil hasanati falahu khayran minha. Whoever comes at the judgment with good deeds will have better than it. Wahum min faza'in yawma izin aminun, and they from the terror of that day will be safe. Prophet ﷺ said, amongst people who are unknown will come some people who will come together, leaving their tribes. They will have no ties of kinship between them, but will love one another for the sake of Allah. So we should love for the sake of Allah. It doesn't mean you have to break the ties. That doesn't mean that. And here later there is one more hadith. Prophet ﷺ said, among the most excellent of you days is Friday. On it Adam al-Islam was created. On it he died on it, and trumpet will also be blown. What is which day it is? It is Friday. And here in inshallah, here we see وَقُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ, and say all praises is due to Allah. He will show you his signs and you will recognize them, and your Lord is not unaware of what you do. This was ayah number 93, Surah Al-Qasas. And Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ta, Sin, Mim. This is disjoint letters, Huruf Muqattad. Tilka ayatul kitabil mubin. These are the verses of clear book. We recite to you from the news of Musa and Pharaoh in truth for a people who believe. Indeed, Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made its people into factions. He divided the people. He was like an oppressor, oppressing a sector among them, slaughtering their newborn sons and keeping their females alive. Indeed, he was a corrupter. So here, وَنَزِيدُ أَن نُمَنَّ, and we wanted to confer favor upon those who were oppressed in the land. So وَنَجَعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, and make them leaders and make them inheritors. And later on we have seen وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَى أَنْ أَرْضِئِهِ. How and he inspired to mother of Musa. Here inspiring to the Musa al-Islam's mother, telling Musa al-Islam mother what to do. Suckle him, nurse him to Musa, and when you fear for him, cast him into the river. Now Allah is saying what you have to do. In order to save your baby, this is the thing you have to do. And this was the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do not fear and do not grieve. Allah is saying, and we will return him to you, we'll make him one of the messengers. Now Allah is saying, promising, we will return your son later. And the family of Pharaoh picked picked him up out of the river so that he would become to them an enemy and cause of grief. And it was the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they took the baby to their home. And indeed, Pharaoh and Haman and their soldiers were deliberate sinners. Kanu khati'een. And the wife of Pharaoh. Who is the wife of Pharaoh? Yes, Asya al-Islam. He will be a comfort of the eye for me, for you. The baby was so nice, and when she was looking to Musa al-Islam, she said, do not kill him, perhaps he may benefit us, or we may adopt him as a son. So here, the way she is convincing to the husband, we learn a beautiful lesson from this. Pharaoh, just imagine how oppressed he was, but the wife is so righteous and so nice. The nicely he is presenting the words, and they perceive not. So after that he heard, and actually he was there in the home of Pharaoh. So we should learn from Asya al-Islam how we should present our things, And then what happened was Fu'adhu Ummi Musa Farigan. Just imagine the heart of the Musa al-Islam's mother. And the Musa al-Islam's mother heart was Farigun, empty. Why is it empty? Because she is so worried about the son. What happened? She put in the river. She was about to disclose. She was about to say that the matter concerning Musa al-Islam, had we not bound fast her heart, that she would be of the believers. Rabbatna ala qulubihim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tied her heart. And sometimes, she was about to say that thing. If she has said that, they will catch the son and they will kill it. But alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tie the heart and make her firm, and she stopped herself. Because, out of concern, a mother's concern, you could understand. And she said to his sister, follow him. So she watched him from a distance while they perceived not. From this we learn that, we do tawakkul ala Allah, but you have to tie that camel. So even though she put in the river as she was ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but she asked her daughter, go and watch where he is going. So the sister of Musa al-Islam, she watched the basket or the box float on the river, and then she saw the child ending up in the house of Pharaoh. And she saw what was going on in the house of Pharaoh. And what happened, وَحَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهِ مَرْضِيَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. And we had prevented him from all wet nurses. Nobody was able to nurse the child. Like Musa al-Islam was not able to drink milk from anyone. Just imagine if child is crying and not drinking any milk, you get panicked, isn't it? So here, nobody, because here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayah number 12, وَحَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهَا الْمَرْضِيَةِ مِنْ قَبْلِ. And then what happened? She said, shall I direct you to household that will be responsible for you while they are to him upbringing sincere? Now Musa al-Islam's sister is saying, okay, I can guide you in this matter. Somebody will help you regarding this matter. We restored him to his mother. Now he is back. What happened, with all the delegation of the king, Musa al-Islam was brought to the Ummi Musa, and she is doing the suckling and doing the nursing, and on top of that she is getting the ajr too. She is getting the money, as well as, of course, she is a mother. So, and she might be content and not grieve, that she would know that the promise of Allah is true, but most of the people do not know. So this is the beautiful lesson we learn. She did tawakkul ala Allah, and Allah helped, and then cool her eyes. Musa al-Islam came back, and she could able to nurse, and nobody knows she's the own mother, and on top of that she's getting the money too. And when you cuddle your kid, how you feel nice, that mother feeling. Here the Prophet ﷺ said there are 40 virtuous deeds, and the best of them is giving the gift of a goat specially that gives milk. And anyone who does not of these virtuous deeds, hoping for Allah's reward with firm confidence, then Allah will make him enter Jannah.
And when he attained his full strength, was mentally mature. Musa alayhi salam, it's now he attained the mentally mature. We bestowed upon him judgment and knowledge, and thus do we reward the doers of good. So here we have seen in Qasas, we learn so much detail about Musa alayhi salam, and it's a beautiful surah. And he entered the city, Musa alayhi salam, when he had reached full strength and he was mentally mature. He entered the city at the time of inattention by its people and found there two men were fighting that time. One from his Bani Israel and one from his enemy side, that is from Pharaoh side. And the one from his faction called for the help. So somebody called him for the help, and one from his enemy, he helped him. And you know what happened? Unintentionally he killed him. He didn't mean to, but he was so strong, just he gave a blow and he was dead. And now, قَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي ظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي. Musa alayhi salam is saying, my Lord, indeed I have wronged myself. فَغْفِرْ لِي, please forgive me. What happened? وَغْفَرَ لَهُ, and Allah forgave him. إِنَّهُ هُوَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Beautiful lesson we learn, even though it was by mistake, accidental. But he is saying soon after that, قَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي ظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي فَاغْفِرْ لِي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I wronged, please forgive me. So as soon as we do wrong, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. So here we should understand this, and here there is a hadith regarding that. Allah is amazed at his servants when he says, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni qad zalamtu nafsi waghfir li zunuba innahu la yaghfiru zunuba illa anta. This is also a dua we can recite. Or inni zalamtu nafsi waghfir li. This also we can recite, inshallah. And here, and in ayah number 17, قَالَ رَبِّي بِمَا أَنَمْتُ عَلَيَّ فَلَنْ أَكُونَ الزَّهِيرًا لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. He said, my Lord, for the favor you bestowed upon me, I will never be an assistant of the criminals. And later on, when he wanted to strike the one who was an enemy to both of them, he said, meaning the Musa alayhi salam who called for help, who was fighting the previous day and this day, he said, oh Musa, do you intend to kill me as you killed someone yesterday? He said, what? I didn't do it intentionally. You know, he went to help him. You only want to a tyrant in the land, and do you want to be of the amenders? And you know, then and a man came from the farthest end of the city and running. He said, oh Musa, indeed the eminent ones, meaning the leaders, are conferring over you, intending to kill you. So leave the city as soon as possible. Indeed, I am to you the sincere advisor. A man came running and he said so. So Musa alayhi salam left the city fearful and anticipating, and you know, he don't know what to. Then when he directed himself toward the Madian, he went there. And then later on what happens, and when he came to the well of Madian, he found there crowd of people watering their flocks, and he found aside two women driving back their flocks. He said, what is your circumstances? And because you know all men were there, because of shyness they were there, and they don't want to go in the public. We do not water until the shepherds dispatch their flocks, and our father is an old man. You know, they are saying our father is old man and we want water from here. So Musa alayhi salam, he didn't say anything, and he watered the flocks for them. You know, he helped them. So he went back to the shade and said, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. He's making dua. Rabbi, oh my Rabb, inni lima anzalta. Indeed, I am for whatever good you would send down to me. Indeed, I am in need. I am in faqir. I am in complete need of you. So here we learn that, you know, when you are in need, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will make you a way. And here then one of the two women came to him walking with the shyness. She said, indeed, my father invites you, that he may reward you for watering the, you know, flocks. So when he came to him and related to him the story, you know, he went to the father and said the whole story, what happened. He said, fear not, you have escaped from the wrongdoing people. So one of the women said, "Oh, my father, hire him." One of the daughters said, "Okay, hire him. Indeed, the best man you can hire, the strong and the trustworthy." As I mentioned before, he was like, his physique was very good. And also with this, we know that he's a trustworthy person. And then what happened? So the father said, "Indeed, I wish to wed you one of this. I have 2 daughters. I'm going to wed with one. But the condition is that you serve me for 8 years." Now condition is there. So then what Musa alayhi salam replied, "But if you complete 10, it will be a favor." He said, "I'm giving you 10. If you complete 10, that would be favor. I do not wish to put you in the difficulty. You will find me, if Allah wills, among the righteous." So Musa alayhi salam said, "Okay, established between me and you, whichever of the 2 terms I complete, there is no injustice to me, and Allah over what we say it witness." And now witnessing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I said, "Okay, I agree." فَلَمَّا قَضَى مُوسَى الْأَجَلَ, and when Musa alayhi salam has completed the term and was traveling with his family, he perceived from the direction of the mount a fire. He said to his family, "Stay here. Indeed, I have perceived a fire. Perhaps I will bring you from there some information or burning wood from the fire, that you may warm yourself." But when he came to it, he was called from the right side of the valley, in a blessed spot from the tree, "O Musa." Who is calling? "Indeed, I am Allah, Lord of the worlds." And we have learned this in previous surah too, alhamdulillah. And he was told, "Throw down your staff." When he saw it's moving, it was a snake. He turned in flight and did not return. And Allah said, "O Musa, approach and fear not. Indeed, you are of the secure. And insert your hand into the opening of your garment, and it will turn into the white. Wadmum ilayka jinahaka." And here we learn that, how it changed, and those are the proofs from your Lord, Pharaoh and his establishment. Indeed, they have been a people defiantly disobedient. So he said, "My Lord, indeed, I killed from among them someone." Now he's admitting his mistake in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. "I fear they will kill." Because now, just imagine, now he has to go back the same place. "I fear they will kill me. And my brother Harun is more fluent than me in tongue." What he has to do? Why he's saying that my brother is more fluent than me? Because he has to go to Pharaoh and he has to propagate. Okay? And he is saying, first of all, I did a murder by mistake. If I go, they will kill me. And the second thing, make Harun my, companion, or give him the, because he is affluent, give him the honor. Wearing me, indeed, I fear that they will deny me. He's concerned about, they will deny me. Allah said, "We will strengthen your arm through your brother and grant your both supremacy. So don't worry. Our signs are with you and we will help you." So what happened when Musa alayhi salam came to with signs, clear evidence? They said, "This is not except invented magic. We have not heard of this religion among our forefathers." They are denying, and they said, and Musa said, "My Lord is more knowing than you." And what they said, and Pharaoh said, "O eminent ones, I have not known you to have a god other than me." Like, Pharaoh is thinking himself as a god, and he said, "You want to take other than me as a god and make me for a tower that's very solid, that I may look at the God of Musa." Astaghfirullah. He's making fun. He's saying, "Okay, make a lofty tower. I want to look from there the, Rab of Musa." And what happened? He was very arrogant, and his soldiers in the land without right, they thought they would not be returned to us. And then later on what happened? We caused to overcome them in the world a curse, and the day of resurrection they will be of the despised one. And here later on in ayah number 43, and we gave Musa the scripture after we had destroyed the former generation, and enlightenment for the people, and the guidance and mercy that they might be reminded. And here we learn as the story moves, and then indeed, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you do not guide whom you like, but Allah guides whom He wills. He is most knowing of rightly guided. This was in ayah number 56. And here we see in ayah number 65, and mention the day He will call them and say, "What did you answer the messenger?" Like, how, messengers, they convey the message, what you did. وَهُوَ اللَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ, and He is the Allah, there is no deity except Him. لَهُ الْحَمْدُ فِي الْأُولَى وَالْآخِرَةِ, to Him due all praises in the first life and the hereafter. وَالْحُكْمُ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, and His the final decision, to Him He will be returned. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ma man shay'in, there is nothing that is more beloved to Allah than hamd, praise. So we should praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Wa man rahmatihi, and out of His mercy He made out night and day that you may rest therein. Seek from His bounty and perhaps you will be grateful. The Prophet ﷺ said, beware of concerning after the night is still, meaning do not do that, it's not good. When the night has become still, go to sleep or worship Allah that time. And here later on we see in ayah number 79, so he came out before his people in his adornment. Who was he? Here in his adornment, those who desire the worldly life, it is Qarun. Okay, would that he had like what was given to Qarun. Indeed, he is one of the great fortune. People are looking and admiring and saying, oh, we wish we would have that much, in ayah number 79. But here there's a hadith, قلب الشيخ شاب على حب اثنتين حب العيش والمال. The heart of an old person feels young for the love of two things, the love for long life and love for the wealth. And here, but those who had been given knowledge said, woe to you, the reward of Allah is better for he who believes does righteous, and none are granted except the patient one. And here, and those who had wished for his position, the previous day began to say how Allah extends provision to whom He wills of His servants and restricts it. And before that in ayah number 81 we have seen, we caused the earth to swallow him and his home. Who? Qarun. And there was for him no company to aid him other than Allah, nor he was of those who could defend himself. And it was in the hadith that he will be swallowed in the earth, till the day of judgment, because he was so arrogant. Because of that, he will be, sink in the earth. Tilka darul akhirah, the home of the hereafter. نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا. We assign to those who do not desire extended upon the earth or corruption, and the best outcome is for the righteousness. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So two qualities of the people for Jannah are look at the people of Jannah, that they look for the hereafter, and they are they save themselves from the major sins. And here, whoever comes on the day of judgment with a good deed will have better than it. Man jaa bil hasanati falahu khairum minha. He will have better than it. And whoever comes with an evil deed, then those who did evil deed will not be recompensed except as much what they used to do. And here, we'll start Suratul Ankabut. The starting ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts with hurufe muqatta'at, alif lam mim. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Do the people think that they will be left to say we believe and they will not be tried? Saying La ilaha illallah and they will not be tested? No, they will be tested. When you said La ilaha illallah, Allah will test you. Allah mentioned in Suratul Al Imran and Suratul Baqarah similar kind of ayah. There also Ahasiban Nasa. When you say Amanna, you will be tested. The test can be physical and mental. But we have certainly tried those before them, and Allah will surely make evident who are truthful. And He will surely make evident the liars. And here, hasibal lazina ya'maluna sayyati ay yasbiquna, and those who do evil, these think they can outturn us. Evil is what they judge. And whoever should hope for the meeting with Allah, indeed the term decreed by Allah is coming. We should all have hope with meeting Allah. He's hearing and knowing. And here, later on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in ayah number 19, Have they not considered how Allah begins creation and repeats it? Indeed, for Allah, it's very easy. Allah can do it again. In ayah number 24, the answer of Ibrahim al-Islam people was not, but they said, kill him or burn him. But Allah saved him from the fire. Indeed, is a sign for the people who believe. And Ibrahim al-Islam said, you have only taken other than Allah idols as a bond of affection among you in worldly life. Then on the day of resurrection you will deny one another and curse one another, and your refugee will be fire, and you will not have any helpers. And then later on, Lut al-Islam believed. Ibrahim al-Islam said, indeed I will emigrate to the service of my Lord. He is exalted and might. We gave him Isaac and Yaqub and placed in the descendants prophethood and the scripture. And here we see Qala Rabbin Surni alal Qawmil Mufsidin. Ayah number 30, there's a dua. He said, my Lord, support me against the corrupting people. So we should make dua, Qala Rabbin Surni ala Qawmil Mufsidin. Ibrahim al-Islam said, indeed within its Lut, they said, we are more knowing of who is within it. We will surely save him and his family except his wife. So is to be of those remain behind, because here talking about Lut al-Islam, and those people are involved in homosexual and other things, and even the wife, she was supporting the community, and she was among the Ghabirin. She'll be left behind. And then we have after that, indeed will bring down on the people of city punishment from the sky, because they have been disobedient on the people of Lut al-Islam. And then on the Madian we send brother Shoaib and Shoaib al-Islam, and he said, oh my people, worship Allah and expect the last day, and do not commit abuse on the earth, spreading corruption. And every prophet, they brought the same message. But what happened was, Zuyina lahum shaitana amalhum, and averted them from the path. They were endowed with the perception, wakanu mustabsirun, they were deluded with their own things, and they think whatever they are doing, they are nice. وَقَارُونَ فِرْعَوْنَ وَحَامَانَ. Qarun, Fir'aun and Haman and Musa had already come to them with clear evidence. They were arrogant in the land, but they were not outrunners of our punishment. So here in ayah number 44, Allah created heaven and earth in truth. Indeed, in that is a sign for the believers. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika, ashhadu an la.
Inshallah, we'll do daily reminder for this juz number 20. Today we did juz number 20. Let's do reminder for this, quick review for this. So here we have started this juz with Amman Khalaqa. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks again and again, A ilahuma Allah, is there any God other than Allah? Is there any creator or anything, the huge universe, anything? So who attentively listens to the call of distress, guide in the land and the sea. Later on we learn how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides land and the sea, and also he recreates everything, and he provides the provision, sustenance. Any deity other than Allah, if there is any, then bring proof. If it not, then believe Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prove how dead and deaf means they are not actually dead and deaf. They have their faculty, but they are not using their faculty. Those who do not listen to the truth are dead and deaf, and it's useless to make them listen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Dabbatul Ard, animal of the earth, the sign of the day of judgment. An animal will brought who will speak with the people. That's the sign of the day of judgment. And terrifying blow on the trumpet, everyone will be terrified when the trumpet will be blown, except those whom Allah chooses to spare. So make dua to have rahmah of Allah on us, because these are the beautiful days going on, and very soon we will be entering the last days of the Ramadan. And recitation of the Quran, Qaratul Quran, recite Quran to the people so that the people can select for them the right for their betterment. And we learn in Suratul Qasas how Musa al-Islam by mistake he killed that Bani Israel, the people from Pharaoh. But he realized and he asked forgiveness. But Pharaoh, he was murdering, deliberately he was killing the boys of the children of Israel. And that too, he is not even realizing it. That's the difference between Anbiya Ikram and the corruptors. And means behind the scene. It was commanded to cast Musa in the river to punish Pharaoh. It was the initial stage of the best plan of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is Mudabbir, He does Tadbir, He plans it gradually and gets successful. And who is the main role in the Surah Al-Qasas? Ummi Musa, mother of Musa alayhi salam. She cast her baby in the sea, obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah cooled her eyes by returning Musa to her. And most misled enemy. A Coptic was killed by Musa in unawareness. Then he said, هذا من عمل الشيطان إنه عدو المضلين مبين. He realized it. This is the work of Shaitan. Surely he is an enemy that openly misled. And beautiful supplication of Musa alayhi salam. He migrated. When he migrated, have you seen he don't have anything? He was completely broken, no clothes, nothing, not even a small bag. When Coptic was killed, he said he went there, he went to Madian, he was standing under the tree, and what he recited, Rabbi inni zalamtu nafsi faghfirli. He's saying, oh my Rabb, indeed I wrong myself, so forgive me for me. He went towards Madian. Then he said these words, Asa Rabbi an yahdiyani sawas sabil. So he's asking, perhaps my Rabb will guide me to the correct path. When he sat in the shade, that time he recited this dua. Subhanallah. And Allah answered him. He got the job, he got married, he got the home. Subhanallah. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Many people are jobless these days. They are worried. Don't worry. Allah is Razzaq. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will provide you. Don't worry about it. Strong, trustworthy. Musa al-Islam was given a job and he got married to one of the daughter of his name. That person name is Shoaib because of the qualities, because he was Muhsin. And we learn about misleading leader. They led towards the fire. Therefore, it is necessary to look at that which one is calling towards. Pharaoh, Haman, and Qarun, they are calling towards misleading. Giving guidance, it is in the hands of Allah. Innaka la tahdi man ahbabta. Means indeed you do not guide whom you love. Praise to Allah. There is only Allah. Praise and thanks in this world and in the hereafter. Arrogance of knowledge. Qarun declared the wealth he got was because of his accomplishment of his knowledge. And Allah sank him. Qasafna, with his wealth in the ground. Many times we too say, oh, I learned this because of that I'm getting this. No, it's not so. Allah is Razak, Allah is giving you. Never ever give credit to yourself until unless something is required, exception. How it is, like for example, uh, in Surah Al-Yusuf, we learn Yusuf al-Islam. He said, I have this knowledge, I can take care of the treasure and everything. That time, that is a prerequisite. Real knowledge, when someone has it, he looks towards the hereafter and is mindful of the right action. Sawabullahi khair, rewards of Allah is better. Destruction of Qarun, lesson for the worldly people. Allah is giver of provision. Those who will be pleased with what Allah provides them will enter Jannah soon. House of the hereafter, it is for those who do not like assuming greatness, corruption, those who adopt taqwa. And in Ramadan, we are looking for taqwa. So, what is taqwa? Fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and abstaining from the sinful things. Difference of good and evil. The recompense of good will be better than it, while recompense of evil will be equal to it. No, it's not. Good and bad is never equal, and destruction. Everything is perishable except the face of Allah. Kullu shayin halikun illa wajhahu. Everything will perish except his face, wajh of Allah. Test of faith. Then Suratul Ankabut start. Hasiballahu an yatraku. It is the way of Allah that He tests to verify the claim of belief. Amanna. When we say amanna, we believe. La yuftanun. You will be tested. Striving, one who strives for good cause will benefit him. Allah is free of need because Allah is Ghani. Rule of obedience. Do not obey the command to do shirk, even if it is by your own parents. Mata'atak, never ever do the itat in the terms of shirk. Center of love, what are they? Temples, shrines, mosques. Who are your friends in social circle? What is being shared? We have to understand that untrustworthy woman, wife of Lut al-Islam, you know, and wife of Pharaoh, even though she is with Pharaoh, but she is a righteous woman and Caesar of Allah. People of Shoaib, Ad, and Samud were all seized. Who can be will be saved if disobeyed him? So here also right now we are going through a minor virus, slowly, steadily going on. So when we learn, especially in Ramadan time, we go through the whole Quran, Alhamdulillah, we see different nations, they are going through different calamities. But this virus, it's going slowly because Allah is giving us time. Now, come close to me, do righteous deeds. So this is the golden opportunity because as soon as virus started, Ramadan started. Alhamdulillah, from December till now in May, Allah has given so much time to improve our qualities, to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what are the end of the wrongdoers, especially Qarun, Firaun, Haman, Ubay bin Khalaf, all of them. And in the end of the Jews talks about the house of a spider, the protector other than Allah, are weak, feeble, and unstable as spider web. If somebody is falling from high place, if he holds the spider web, can he able to save him? No. The same thing. One who asks other than Allah, somebody can save other than Allah? No, nobody can save because the Jew starts Amman khalaqa. Who is created? Who's created as samawat wal ard wa anzala lakum Minas Samai Man, Allah sent the water from the sky, and for Ambatna bihi Hadaiha Zatil Bahij, and He created all the plants and everything, all the greenery, everything. Ilahum Allah, is there any deity? Is there any God other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No. Tawheed depends, there are three attributes of Tawheed. Tawheed Rububiyya, Tawheed Uluhiyya, Tawheed Asma'i Sifat. If you don't understand, also that's fine. You're going to understand it later. This is Tawheed, oneness. Just believe in oneness of Allah. But those who do manja hasanat, those who do falahu khairu minha. It is for your own good. If I'm doing good, it's for your own. If anyone is doing good, it's for them. Because nobody is going to protect you in the hereafter. And we do good, but we don't protect our good deeds. We have to put in the akhirah bank and we have to protect that. And in the end, masalul lazina ittakhazu min dunillaha awliya. Allah talks about, you take other deities other than Allah, just like kamasalil ankabut, like a ankabut house, ittakhazu baitan, and that house of ankabut, it is so feeble, bahnun, it's very weak, baitul bait, in like compared to the other houses, ankabut houses very weak. You want that? Laukanu yalamu? Don't you understand? You don't have knowledge. We should have knowledge. We should understand that this was the Juz 20, and we'll end our session with morning, evening duas. And today we're going to do dua number 20, and this dua is about Suratul Ikhlas. Today's dua is Suratul Ikhlas, and in Suratul Ikhlas, not only just Suratul Ikhlas, there are two more surahs. But today in Juz 2020 dua, we'll do Suratul Ikhlas, and then we'll continue next tomorrow other surah. So today's dua is Suratul Ikhlas.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi. We are doing morning evening duas. Let's begin. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So today's dua is Suratul Ikhlas. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Abdullah ibn Qubayb radiallahu anhu narrated, when we went out one rainy and intensely dark night to look for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to lead us in prayer, when we found him, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
but I did not say anything. He said, again, say, but I did not say anything. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam that say, so asked what I am to say. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Qul hu Allahu ahad Allahu samad. Lam yalid walam yulad walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Say he is Allah the one and the only, Allah the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is he born, nor is there to him any equivalent. And say Mawa'izatin. And here we learn how many times we have to say, 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening. And here we learn like there is a importance of this surah. First we'll see the meaning and then we'll see the importance of the surah. Say he is Allah the one and only, Allah the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is he born, nor is there to him any equivalent, thrice in the morning and the evening. And here we learn this is called Mawazatain is Suratul Ikhlas and Nas. Mawazatain and is Suratul Mawazat. Mawazat is Suratul Ikhlas, Suratul Falaq and Suratul Nas. And Hazrat Uqba bin Amir radiallahu anhu said, like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to recite after every Fard Salah. So we should also recite it, inshallah. And this surah, it talks about Tawheed, oneness of Allah, and also Iman on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we say Allah is only one with the ikhlas of the heart, with the purity of the heart. And we say that when we recite this surah. And what are the different names of Surah Al-Ikhlas? Ulama says about 21 names of Surah Al-Ikhlas. One is Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Tawheed. Tawheed means oneness of Allah. And Surah Al-Asas, that is bunyad, that is base of the surah. And Surah Al-Amana, trust. And this surah, we have complete yaqeen and complete tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it talks about Tawheed, and it has a sifat, and there is no one like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we see the meaning of Surah Al-Ikhlas, he is the Allah, the one and only Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is he born, nor is there to him any equivalent. Thrice in the morning and the evening. Abdullah ibn Khubayb radiallahu anhu narrate, we already learned this hadith, like how he said to recite this. And he is the Allah, the only one and the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is he born, nor there is to him any equivalent. This is in Abu Dawud. And the other narration says to recite Suratul Ikhlas and Suratul Nas also. And also we learn Suratul Taha ayah number 124 to 126. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. As for the one who turns away from my message, he shall have a straitened life, and we shall raise him blind on the day of judgment. قَالَ رَبِّي لِمَا حَشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى وَقَدْ كُنْتَ بَصِيرًا. He will say, my Lord, why did you raise me blind while I was sighted? قَالَ كَذَلِكَ آتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا فَنَسِيَتَهَا وَكَذَلِكَ يَوْمًا تُنْسَى. He will say, in the similar manner as our signs came to you and you had ignored them, in the same way you will be ignored today. Why he is ama? Why he is being ignored? Because he forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now today Allah is forgetting this person. So, and many ulamas they say forgetting is in this world, Allah will forget in the hereafter. And ma'ishat and denka, that you have constricted life not only in this worldly life and also at the time in the grave. So two places they will be constricted life. Maishata Danka in Surah Taha. So we all recite Suratul Ikhlas, but one who loves Suratul Ikhlas, Allah says it's enough for you to enter Jannah. Because when Sahaba companion, he used to recite so much regularly, he used to recite Suratul Ikhlas. So Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said his niyyah depends, niyyah was to, because he loved that surah. So we're going to love this surah. We recite it in morning, evening, and also when we go to sleep. This is enough for you because you will be protected. Shaitan can't come closer to you because these are the surah revealed when Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was bewitched and Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and this surah was revealed that time. This surah and next two surahs. So here we end our session. Khairan Kasira to everyone for attending the class. May Allah make it easy for all of us. May Allah accept it. What was the wrong, it was from me, and what was good, it was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakallah khairan kasira. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallah khairan kasira.